Hello. All right. I want to talk about certain things of the inner world. If you're interested in esoteric sciences, if you're interested in chakra, if you're interested into knowing about sheath, it's not that what I have is the last word, is a sacrosanct. Th- Nobody can have it. Nobody can have the last word on certain things like the ones that I mentioned because we are all deducing things depending on the information that we have. I lost a complete video because of some technical issue. Um, I wasn't very motivated to make a video today, but then I thought that I should push myself into making one. Um, anyway, so I hope this one works. All right, so if you're like me, for who everything seemed quite muddled up, quite hazy when they started knowing about all these things like chakra and sheath and kundalini or whatever, and you just read whatever was available on the websites and whatever people spoke about, but did not experience anything on a personal level because things weren't making sense. uh, I made my last video about sheath or layers or kosher. Here we are. There's some lack of light today. We'll have to make do with it. So these are the sheath that we find in our body. Sheaths as in layers or kosher. Food, something that's solid, prawn, something that has that's moving, that lend a force that's there only in living beings. So a rock might also have a very strong exterior, but they don't these pieces of rocks or anything which is inanimate does not have pran in it. And then so pran is another sheath, and then you have your mind. Mind is something what we want. Mind is not brain, something that we want. What does your mind say? What does your man? So it's Manomaya Kosha. What you like, what you dislike. Okay. And then you have your mental or Vijnanamaya Kosh, mental kosha, something that is based on your intellect. And then finally bliss, something that is pure joy. There are several other sheets, but we are just touching upon these ones. So what I used to think and used to get confused about was like I used to see it as how we see Earth's crust, topmost exterior, topsoil, and then what you have inside, and then what you have another layer, and then finally the molten lava, the core. That's how I used to view things. But then I found, I mean, I hit upon a thought that made more sense, that everything solid in our bodies has to have a layer to separate it from its surrounding, and that layer is the one which is contributed by food that we eat. And the food that we eat is just not the solid stuff, because the solid stuff gets broken down into the simplest of the nutrients, like the carbohydrates that we eat gets broken down into glucose in the liquid form, and then finally it can also be further uh, broken down into into its constituent gases like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. When we eat proteins, it can be broken down into amino acids, and that again can be broken down into nitrogen or carbon and oxygen. So everything can be broken down to its uh, to its smallest unit. All right, so this answered my next question, that is each which chakra is connected to which sheath. The answer I got, and I won't let you wait till the end of the video, that all chakras are connected to all sheaths. Even though, even though the root chakra, for example, the way it vibrates, the frequency it vibrates at is the same frequency the solid portion of our body vibrates, whether it be our skin, the outer covering of bone, which has liquid inside it, bone marrow. But we're just talking about the outer portion, the cell, this outer covering, the lipids, the proteins that it is made of. Everything that we eat gets broken down into solid, liquid, gases. Solids get uh, contribute making the solid portion or the outer layering of our bodies. The liquid gets uh, mixed with the liquids flowing in our body. The mm, gases get mixed with the gaseous structure in the body, which is pran. Pran. Pran is life, and life is just not contributed by food, it is also contributed by the air that we breathe in, the water that we drink, the sunlight that we go into, everything. So they all lend themselves uh, to creating a nudge in your body, and that nudge facilitates spinning of each cell, which segregates itself from a dead cell which doesn't move. So that's pranamaya kosh. That is something outside your body, something that flows inside your body just beneath the solid portion, which makes you look lustrous because it's flowing, and it is an amalgamation of all nudges, nudge from foods vitality, from of water's vitality, of air's vitality, of sunlight's vitality, everything. Mind, manomaya, everything's that, that emotions are connected with water. Water in our bodies in the form of plasma, blood, other liquids. So that's that's the next stage. After your solid boundary, there is a layer of pran. Pran is the uh, pran is the moving light beneath your skin, in beneath the skin, your the skin that we know it, beneath the skin of the bone, beneath the skin of the cell, the smallest unit. Man Man is the water flowing inside, the water flowing inside the cell. So the space with which the waves of the of the water, of the liquid, not water, liquid, decides our emotions. And since, no, I won't would get into it later on. Then you have your mental faculty. After manomaya is vigyan, intelligence. What's intelligence? Something that's based on information that's already fed into our genetic makeup, plus the information that we gather. We refer both these sources and come to a conclusion. This analysis is done in the gut and in the head. And then bliss, when we don't care what's going on around the world. There are so many, we're surrounded by sadness. So if we can detach ourselves to such an extent that we stay happy because we know the only true relation of ours is with the Creator, because if we are the creation, there has to be a creator. So our that relation is never going to get marred. We are going to we are not going to uh, be sad about our ends. Rather, we'll be happy that we'll reach him or her, whoever we see our creator as, and it'll be a divine union, whatever. So that's bliss, however you view these things. So it's not that our outer body, it's also all bodies inside our bodies. So my question to myself was, which one is connected to which kosh, which layer? So all are connected in their own way, but they resonate in such a way that it energizes one element, one bhuta, one element in our body. Our body is made up of five elements, and the root chakra vibrates as a frequency that the solid portion vibrate at. The Swadhisthana chakra vibrates at a frequency that the liquids or the emotions or the man vibrate at. Fire energy, temperature. Now, the one that, what is the nature of fire? It expands. It expands, and since we can't expand endlessly, what we let out that energy of expansion as working. So what the energy that's created because of emotion, that has to, in the sacral chakra, this has to be converted into action through solar plexus. So it's just not that we watch a very sad movie in the night about the downtrodden, or we think about them before we sleep, and in the morning we forget about them. That has to be, there has to be um, a right kind of an action for helping them in the morning when we get up. It shouldn't be that we are not able to translate our emotions into action. This can be done only if both these chakras are working in attunement. There is an attunement between them. Then heart chakra. So the white light that's entering our body, it does not go, gets obstructed here uh, when it comes to heart chakra, uh, and it makes 12 petals. Why? Now let me come to that portion. There are two conduits in our body connected to the nostrils: solar conduit, Pingla, lunar conduit, Ida. So when they intersect each other, cross path, there is a lot of pressure exchange, because obviously the temperature of the lunar conduit is low, so the pressure is high. Temperature in the solar conduit is high, so the pressure is low. So when they when they intersect each other across path, there is exchange of pressure. That exchange of pressure causes vibration. That vibration breaks the energy matrix into certain petal like shape that we know as chakra, and each chakra vibrates at a certain frequency that is equal to the frequency of a certain element that makes up our body. For example, heart chakra vibrates at a frequency that the pran uh, units are vibrating as. So the pran was the luster of light, of force, life force beneath the solid structure. That also vibrates at the same frequency as heart chakra. So there is a harmonic resonance established. That is, they both start uh, vibrating in tandem. So no blockage, balance established. Mm, for sun, for Manipur, so this yellow light is obstructed. It is stopped here, and it can't go any further because of the wavelength it has. It can't go any further. and it regulates the temperature in the body. So the this particular chakra vibrates at a frequency that the fire in our body resonate with. Swadhisthana chakra. This chakra vibrates at a frequency that the liquids in our body resonate with. So everything gets regulated. There is harmonic resonance. High harmonic resonance means uh, you get attuned with uh, an entity that you get you attune your frequency with the with an entity that is vibrating with the same frequency. So there is uh, if there is cool air inside a house, the hot air outside the house will exchange temperature when the door is opened. It's not that the water flowing at a distance in a river will change its temperature. So air interact with each other, water will interact with each other, solid will interact with each other. Two opposite elements don't find harmonic resonance to be it's not easy uh, to resonate with some other element. So this is what I came up with. So the whole idea was that when these conduits they are working well, all the layers are working well. The subtle conduits that are connected to these chakra and energy points are working well, and therefore these since you know that they these chakra they move both in clockwise and anti-clockwise uh, position, clockwise anti-clockwise movements they have. So there is enough pressure created in the subtle conduits that are connected to it, as a result of which we are able to interpret the information that we get from universe in a much more intuitive way. There is no blockage, there is no dissonance. For example, if we get some emotion, if we are able to interpret some emotion that we feel, what is the meaning behind it? Why is it happening? Who's responsible for it? If I feel good, and this is about anahata or heart chakra, about solar plexus. So if it is since it is connected to ambition, so what gives me utmost joy? What's my calling? And I think time has come to change my calling. Time has come to shift my career. So on. We become big transducers in that way. So this is the only thing that I could guess as a big positive point of all these sciences. We are transducers. Transducers are devices that can convert mechanical stress into electrical energy. Electrical energy can be interpreted as some information, some information from the universe. And this information is getting inside me and you every living moment. We should be able to interpret it. That's it. Okay, bye.